Welcome to Versus! For this episode, we're going to be talking about
babies. We are going to be talking about babies.
Baby.
No, I mean, you know, we've reached a certain point in our relationship where we kind of have to start talking about children.
And you know, the birds and the bees.
Yeah, I mean, how exactly are babies made?
Everybody knows. It's wonton wrappers.
What?
Yeah, you get 2 wontons. You kind of like get them all like romantic and mushy. Okay. Put them in cover them with a washcloth, and the next day you'll have a baby.
That's not how it works.
Good Lord, I've been doing it wrong.
That's not how it works. This is why you don't have children.
What?
If you don't know how babies are made, there are certain sites that you can visit.
This is not the video to watch.
This is not the video to watch. You don't go on YouTube for that kind of stuff.
We won't
it
plug
rhymes
that.
with you biz. We're going to be talking about a very specific baby.
A baby.
A baby.
A baby.
The baby to end all babies. Anyway, we're talking about Jackjack from Incredibles 2. He has the potential to become the best superhero of all time, or supervillain.
Obviously, the inspiration of The Incredibles was the Fantastic Four.
Right.
You know, you had a stretchy guy, you had the invisible girl. They just kind of switched it around.
Yeah.
And there's a fire person.
And instead of siblings and friends, they turned them into children instead. Yeah.
Now, it's also very similar that the outside of the Fantastic Four, Franklin Richards is the most powerful one. And he's like the baby. Of Reed and Sue.
Reed and Sue.
Yeah. The main difference is that, you know, with Jackjack, he has like this buffet of powers.
It's crazy.
Okay, so he has about 16, 17 powers.
17 powers.
But we'll talk about, you know, some of them.
Yeah. Being a jack of all trades is a good thing. Is that why he's called Jackjack?
Jack of all trades. Yeah.
You know, Jack, he's so cool.
He is a baby.
I should be ashamed of myself.
Yeah,
you
should.
One of the great things about Jackjack, which like blew everyone's minds away, is that he can multiply. He can clone himself. So it's not just one Jackjack. It's Jack. Jackson and Jacks.
Okay, I can think of somebody who more or less does the same thing. In anime, you have Naruto, who has the Kagebunshin technique, or the shadow clone technique. He gets to like have multiple versions of himself.
Right.
And each one is perfectly capable, is like another Naruto. So they can all team up on you. And you know, each one is a Naruto. It's not like
it's a gang.
It's not like a
a gang of Narutos, and like it's a
No. Like for example, there were 10 of them.
Yeah.
It's not like 1/10 of a Naruto. It's like 100% Naruto.
100%
Naruto.
I think the same can be said of Jackjack.
So
although
in that
the only
sense,
difference is Jackjack is still a baby because Jackjack has like this amazing array of powers. He has about 17 powers. When he multiplies, it never really was brought up in the movie, but maybe they will in the future, is when he clones himself, do these clones have the same powers that he has?
They should.
Like if
it's a true clone.
If I flame on, then all of the other clones flame on? Or is it possible for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna flame on, you're gonna, you know, transfer to a different dimension or something like that?
Who knows,
because that's one of the other powers.
Or you know, they could all be duds.
That's true.
Like they just like
extra
hands.
Na-dud sila lahat, pero maluluko tayo.
He can't be a mom. He'll be a dud.
Okay, one of the other powers of Jackjack is his amazing ability to go to different dimensions. And you know, at first when I first saw this in the movie, I was like, oh, maybe he's just invisible, or maybe he just teleports
like Nightcrawler.
So he has the ability to go to different dimensions
too. It's like teleportation because that denotes distance, like location within this dimension. With Jackjack, he can teleport to another dimension altogether.
Right.
So he could be in the same place, but a different dimension, as opposed to here and there.
It's like
Doctor Strange, you know, is a dimension hopper himself. So you have the whole Dormammu time loop thing.
Right, okay.
And then he was able to see like all the, in Infinity War, he was able to like see all the different
14 million possibilities
of how they can go up against Thanos.
Right, that's great. But let me ask you, what was Doctor Strange doing when he was a baby? Jackjack is a baby. Like, given enough time, Jackjack might possibly do that as well.
Who knows?
He didn't have powers.
Maybe when he was a
baby.
At
least if you're referring to the movie, he was a doctor. He was probably a smart child.
Then you have to compare. You have to compare the current power. You can't say that. You know, you have to compare Doctor Strange as a Baby Supreme.
Yeah.
as opposed to Jackjack.
Baby Supreme.
But you know, you have to compare like Jackjack.
No, but I think
now,
at this point, it's kind of hard to compare Doctor Strange as an adult with all the life experience that he's had and his multi-dimension hopping capabilities against Jackjack, who has had like practically what 6 months life experience.
Oh, but we have to, because you know the what we're trying to prove is he the best superhero right now?
Oh,
we're not talking about like how Jackjack will be as an adult. You know, we're comparing him now. So powers.
I thought we were talking about potential.
I can introduce to you a lot of people who had great potential who ended up losers.
All right, let's talk about one of the other amazing powers that Jackjack has. When you don't give him cookies, he turns into this rage monster. Like he's an actual monster that has like fangs and stuff. And he's like this baby Hulk.
Wait, we know that's you, but
yeah.
I thought we were talking about Jackjack.
This was my childhood actually.
Sorry to say, but there have been other rage monsters
That's
before
true,
him.
though.
The most evident would be the Hulk. You know, like you have like Green Hulk, you have like Red Hulk, you have Gray Hulk.
Yeah.
But different versions of control.
Yeah.
Some versions of Hulk are controllable, some
Gray
versions
is the
are
one
not.
who has like some intellect.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But in general, you know, it's Bruce Banner has had this problem / curse / power for the longest time. And if you're talking about like demons, because you're not sure if Jackjack is just like a different species or like an all-out demon.
I don't know.
We also have Hellboy.
Yeah.
Who does not have anger issues. He is actually half demon.
He actually came from hell.
Yeah, but he's a very chill demon.
The beast version of Jackjack isn't exactly very terrifying. Like,
yeah.
You know, you actually see him. For now, because he is a baby. All right. So another one of Jackjack's amazing powers is that he basically gets to do a Human Torch.
So this is one power where we were talking about control. I think has a lot to do with as to whether it'll be an awesome power or not.
The Human Torch got his powers a little bit later on in life, right?
And it was cosmically induced.
Right. Whereas with Jackjack, he was born with it.
Yeah.
Not to say that like everybody who's born with it does better with it. He's growing up with a bunch of supers around him. He has Edna by his side, and like they basically get to teach him how to use his powers properly. He is a baby.
The Human Torch is much more controlled.
Okay.
Not so much the intensity of the flame, but more like control is key here.
And as if that weren't enough, we still have even more powers from Jackjack.
Okay.
My God, this list goes on. The next power of Jackjack is his ability to save Rose from the Titanic.
Jackjack didn't save Rose.
Door did.
Jackjack saved Rose.
There was enough space on that damn door. One of Jack's powers, Jackjack's powers, is that he actually has the ability to move stuff with his mind.
The psychic powers. It's very difficult. They're not all interchangeable.
Equal. Yeah.
Some are able to read minds. Some are able to move objects. That's telekinesis.
Some have both.
Some have both. Professor X, you have Psylocke, you have Jean Grey, you have Emma Frost. You know, these are all some of the more powerful psychics, at least in the Marvel X-Men universe. And obviously,
at this day and age, because of how mature they are.
Jackjack is very different, and since we cannot ascertain yet if he has psychic powers, what we do know is that he has telekinetic powers. So there you go. Obviously, that's going to be very difficult to, you know, the kid could hardly even talk.
That's true.
What more measure
but that could be
or
his strength.
Quantify what he can do with his mind?
But that could also be his strength if you think about it. Like, let's just say that they actually have a battle where Jean Grey goes up against Jackjack, and it's a death match, it's a fight to the death. And then Jean Grey looks at Jackjack. Jackjack just gives her this, you know, I'm a baby look. Don't hurt me. Kind of like a Puss in Boots thing. And then when her guard is down, bam!
Sue Storm and Violet's powers technically can also be like telekinetic.
Well, again,
because they can move things, although not with their mind, but more because they can create a force field that push
energy,
things. Yeah, so you can also see it in terms of that. In a weird way, Jackjacks can actually, you know, go against Violet's powers as well.
So another one, my God, I just keep on saying another one of Jackjack's just because of how many powers this baby has. He has the ability to phase through. It kind of feels feels redundant if you think about it because he can go to different dimensions. So he could just technically go to a dimension where this wall doesn't exist. But he doesn't need that because he has phasing.
When you think about it, somebody who can teleport doesn't necessarily mean that they can phase. Like, for example, Nightcrawler can teleport,
but he can't walk through walls.
But he can, you know, run into like a glass door and hurt himself.
And remember in one of the X-Men movies, that was one of his problems. He was like, oh, I need to be able to see where I'm going.
Exactly.
I might end up teleporting myself inside of a wall.
In terms of phasing, the closest that we can get in terms of other superheroes would be, of course, Kitty Pryde or Shadowcat or Sprite, depending on which era of the X-Men you go to. Kitty Pryde can phase, but unlike, let's say, Casper, the friendly ghost, who just goes through walls, Kitty has this a little extra with her phasing. If she phases through electronics, she can actually like short-circuit everything.
You know, that's the one thing that I've
Which is very different from the usual just, going through walls.
That's one of the things that I've always liked about the whole Kitty Pryde and Colossus kind of love team. Because, you know, she has the ability to phase through things. Whereas Colossus always seems so unfazed. Like, he's always so like, sinapak mo siya, unfazed lang siya. Galing!
Exactly. So I think those are the two very different the two big differences between, let's say, Jackjack's phasing and Kitty Pryde's phasing.
And of course,
there's an extra power. So usually, like when there's a Sentinel, Kitty Pryde would just phase through the
Sentinel, then maybe screw up the electronics inside.
They will like immediately fall. And she's actually one of the best X-Men when it comes to the Sentinels because of her phasing.
Right. Now, another thing about Jackjack is he also gets the shapeshift. With Jackjack, he actually gets to do the same as he turns into Edna mode. I mean, like a baby Edna mode. He can't exactly turn into the person just yet.
Yes.
Because he's still a baby. So he turns into like a baby version of them. Yeah. But who knows?
I don't know how.
In the future, maybe he might be able to turn into the actual person.
Yeah. So I guess if we were to go by that, the main weakness is he can only turn into that person at whatever age he is currently in.
For now.
So for now.
He just doesn't have the control over it yet.
Because if you were to base it on that, when he's a teenager, he can turn into the teenager versions of the people.
Oh my God!
He will mimic.
I just had like an epiphany of sorts. Think about it this way. Let's just say I'm a straight man.
Okay.
And
let's just say
I'm a straight man. Let's just say you're a straight man. I don't know, you know. Let's just say that this is what it is. If you find out.
Okay,
so you're a straight guy.
Okay.
You find out that your current girlfriend has the ability to shapeshift into anyone.
Okay.
Very much like Mystique.
Okay.
But you find out that this girlfriend of yours is actually Jackjack. Shapeshifting into, you know, whoever it is that you're into. Would you still do it?
No!
Why not?
It's a kid!
No, I mean not Jackjack as a baby, but like Jackjack as an adult. Like, think about it. Oh my God, this is like
wait, Jackjack is an adult? if I were into that, he wouldn't need to shapeshift. Will he look like his dad?
Probably will, like a sexier version of his dad.
Okay.
Can you imagine if adult Jackjack came to me as Kate Beckinsale, and then in the middle of our long 6-year relationship, he eventually says, "Oh, I'm actually adult Jackjack." How would I feel? How would I feel? Turned on. And moving on to Jackjack's other powers that we will not exploit for any sexual purpose. One more thing that they displayed in The Incredibles, well, this was actually Incredibles 1 and not Incredibles 2, which they didn't get to tackle really, is Jackjack has the ability to become like Colossus in the sense that he turns himself into like metal.
Right.
Now, I don't know what the metal is made of. I don't know if it's aluminum. I don't know if it's, you know, actual metal, adamantium or whatever. But it seems to be another one of those powers that was left unexplored. Now, I'm not sure if this is a variation of him shapeshifting.
Right.
Because we talked about it already. Maybe he was just imagining like a lead ball or something like that. But there's another power of his that you know could lead to him becoming the greatest superhero of all time.
Well, obviously, this will, you know, it will all boil down to the level of hardness. And obviously Colossus is harder than Most men.
I mean, he is a grown adult.
Depends, okay, because there are versions of Colossus where he can control how hard he gets. But there are
Can't we
also.
all? I mean, isn't that an innate ability?
There is a version of Colossus where.
Except maybe when you get a little bit older.
No, because there is a version of Colossus where he got stuck hard. So, usually he can go from like, flesh to metal, flesh to metal. Now, there was a version of him where he got stuck in the hardened state and he couldn't like soften himself.
He couldn't walk straight. We started this episode talking about babies.
How do you think they're made?
Making babies.
So, that's the thing. But like we said, it has a lot to do with control. Of course, as far as metal men are concerned, obviously, Colossus out-metals them all.
Yeah. And there's a reason why they call him Colossus. At this point, I think that, all the other superheroes can kind of, outdo Jackjack.
Yeah. With specific powers.
Yeah, and only because we're dissecting each power against each superhero. But with all the powers that Jackjack has, I still think that he might have a fair chance, even as a baby.
Yeah.
Even as a baby, he might have a fair chance because like his survival instincts will kick in. He might not have the best control over his powers, but when the survival instincts kick in, that's when it matters.
And I guess because of his age, we don't know yet if he will be able to have better control over the powers, not just the individual ones, but will the time come that he can use 2, 3 powers
simultaneously? Yeah.
So
hey, why don't you guys let us know? Like, I mean, as is, we're still kind of torn. Like, I still feel like Jackjack, if he gets to keep all of his powers and with the proper parenting, he can actually become the best superhero of all time.
But again, we go down to potential versus
what is currently happening.
What is currently happening. So yeah, I must agree. Currently, maybe he's not yet. It's hard to call a toddler the best superhero out there, but potentially, maybe.
That's right. So let us know in the comment section. Let us know if you think that Jackjack is the best superhero.
Yeah.
If you think that, if you have any proof that Colossus does have control over how hard he gets, you can let us know too.
Yes, so please, click subscribe and share this to as many people as you want. There's no limit. Share it as much as you want.
Yeah.
And tell us what you think in the comment section, and we shall see you again next time.
Bye.